Hi, my name's Alyssa Scott, and the topic I picked was called Climate Change's Effects on the World. My major is communication studies with the focus of leadership and public advocacy and a minor in political science. The reason why I picked this topic is because I think it's very important going on in the world today, and I feel like everyone should know ways to stop it and the ways that it affects us. What is climate change? Climate change is a change in global or regional climate patterns, in particular, a change apparent from the mid to late 20th century onwards, and attribute largely to the increased level of atmospheric carbon dioxide produced by the use of fossil fuels. It also changes in usual weather found in many different places. It also changes in Earth's climate. Some ways it changes the Earth's climate is it changes the Earth's usual temperature, and weather can be changed in just a few hours. For example, these past few days we've been having warm weather, and that's because of climate change. One of the effects climate change has is on the environment. It all started because humans continued to add heat trap greenhouse gases to the atmosphere. What that means is that it includes mountain glaciers, ice sheets covering West Antarctica and Greenland. And also in Montana's Glacier National Park, glaciers are declining to fewer than 30 from more than the 150 that they started with. It also has a lot of impacts, like ice is melting worldwide. The melting ice contributes to sea level rise. What that is the global sea level is rising 0.13 inches or 3.2 millimeters a year, and the rise is occurring at a faster pace in recent years. It also has precipitation, which is rain and snowfall, that has increased across the globe. With that, floods and droughts will become more common. Largest parts of the US will face a higher risk of decade long mega droughts by 2100. Also, hurricanes and other storms become stronger. There will be less fresh water will be available. Diseases will spread like the mosquito-borne malaria, and the ecosystem will begin to change. Climate change also has effect on humans. One of the ways that it affects human is by our health. The dirty fossil fuels emissions that contribute the greenhouse effect can lead to respiratory diseases. It also with trapping heat into our planet, carbon emissions also damage the human body and mind in other ways. With that, us children and adults could get asthma. It also we can get the air pollution that kills an estimate 7 million people worldwide every year, according to the World Health Organization. Lastly, heat strokes but warmer temperatures are linked to a 2% increase in mental health issues such as stress, anxiety, and PTSD. It also affects our homes. The added volume of water affects coastlines slowly and swallows lands, home, and fuel, and more flooding inland. Going back to talking about the glaciers melting and leading to the sea rising, the example is that in the US from 2005 to 2015, the median annual number of floods was more than double in between Florida and North Carolina. Another thing was that the lower income people with lower income, people of color, and immigrants could lose their homes to wealthy residents who want to move away from the coast and into neighborhoods safe from the water. This drives property value up and also rent, so it's out of reach for regular people. This is called climate gentrification. The last way it affects humans is by our food. The same CO2 in the atmosphere, thanks to the fossil fuels, is changing the composition of fruit and vegetables that we eat, making them less nutritious. That extra CO2 is speeding up photosynthesis and causing plants to grow with more sugar and less calcium, protein, zinc, and important vitamins. According to Harvard research, don't reduce carbon emission could be a problem for our diet. In the middle of the century, about 175 million more people could develop a zinc deficiency, and 122 million people could become protein deficient as a result of these changes. The last thing that climate change has an effect on is animals. The first animal is a cheetah. With the cheetah, there's a declining in population number because of climate change. There's also a declining in their prey. With this, as a result, cheetahs have to change their diets and prey on other animals that live in the same environment. Also, with cheetahs, the rise in the temperatures affects their ability to reproduce. With that, it's because male cheetahs have lower testosterone levels. Lastly, with the cheetahs, a number of the cheetahs declining conservationists are called in on the global by the global community to study these animals and gain a deeper understanding of their behaviors. They hope to add to the conservation of cheetahs in managed parks. The next animal is turtles. Baby turtles depend on the temperatures of the sand to develop. The warmer areas produce more females, so climate change causes increase on temperatures produced, and they produce more female than male turtles. This may affect the population growth because there are fewer mating partners for female turtles. The last animal is the polar bears. Climate change and global warming reduces the amount of Arctic sea ice. The amount of ice becomes less, and polar bears have less access to food, and their habits are becoming small. The ice is important because it's what polar bears live on and where they hunt for seals and other kinds of food. With climate change being a big problem in the world, there are ways that us people can help with it. One way is with efficient living. Shrinking your space doesn't mean shrinking your life. Downsizing is known to help both psychological and financial benefits. Getting rid of clutter lowers utility bills, less space to clean, and more time for the outdoors. Future homes' best attribute is the smartness, which helps appliances conserve water and energy. Another way that we can help is by transportation. Walking or riding your bike instead of driving a car or taking public transportation can it helps create zero greenhouse gases beyond those produced making the bikes and the food you eat. According to Oak Ridge National Laboratory, transit buses use more energy per passenger and passenger miles than cars. So in the end, to help with climate change, it is better for you to walk or ride your bike instead of taking transportation. And here's my works cited.